Hey there, everyone. This is Fox, and I wanted to talk today a little bit about the whole Overwatch versus Paladins. Are they the same game? Are they different games? Uh, Controversy, discussion. I'm gonna chime in on that a little bit. Because I've played both games a pretty decent amount. I got into Paladins beta day one, and I haven't didn't play the entire development cycle, but I've played, I'd say, half of it. And I pre-ordered Overwatch, so I got it day one, and of course, played the hell out of it. So just for the 2% of people maybe watching this who don't know what Overwatch and Paladins are, Overwatch is a class-based first-person shooter, whose primary mechanic is the ability to switch characters in the game, which not many other games that I've played, certainly no FPSs, have allowed you to do that at all. So that's sort of what makes Overwatch unique. Paladins is also a class-based first-person shooter, but it has your customization built around building decks outside of the game that will then customize your abilities to make your character better at getting away from people or stuff like that. It's usually utility related. So Overwatch's game modes are primarily focused, for the most part, on one team attacking and one team defending, and they're big open maps with a decent amount of flanking routes on some of them, some not quite as much, but map diversity is a thing. And so yeah, you have asymmetrical maps with one team attacking, trying to either capture a point, push a payload, some combination of the two. Paladin's main mode is it's symmetrical maps. So both teams are coming at it with the same terrain and advantages and disadvantages, with a neutral capture point. Then once it's captured, you capture it, and that team then it switches to an offense-defense situation where the team that captured the point then has to push a payload the other team's trying to stop them. So, I guess there's similar game modes there. They, both have payload, both have capture points, but the style in which you play it is very different, because Overwatch is much more open, bigger maps, so it's set up around having your ults and abilities up, and then you have big team fights, essentially, from like a MOBA, where everyone comes together all at once, and you have a big fight, and then you back off and regroup and do it again. And so it's just, there's not necessarily downtime, but it's more structured, maybe a bit different than most other FPSs that at least I've experienced. And so on the other hand, Paladin's maps are a lot smaller, and since it's neutral point, you kind of need to be on it at all times. So it leads to, not necessarily like a traditional deathmatch feel, but there's just a lot more action going on. It's a lot more upbeat. There's more small skirmishes rather than just a huge team fight happening all at once, which, I'm not trying to take sides, but I personally would rather fight more frequently than not. I do enjoy the big explosive battles in Overwatch. They are fun, but there's just I started gaming / competitive gaming with Call of Duty, and that's just constant fighting. So that appeals to me a little bit more. And then the other big complaint I've heard is about the classes being really similar between the two games, which, sure, there's some similarities. Like in Overwatch, there's Soldier 76, who's a dude with a gun who can sprint, and he launches grenades. Okay. Paladins has Victor, a dude with a gun, who can sprint, and he throws grenades. Okay, so that seems similar, but you know what other game, FPS, has someone with a gun that can sprint and throw grenades? Halo, Call of Duty, You know, I mean, I'm drawing a blank on names right now because whatever, but like, that's not a new idea of a guy with a gun, like, you know, just a soldier. Like, that's not anything new. So just because, I think it's just because these two games are coming out at relatively the same time, that are relatively similar genre. Well, this, I guess not relative, they're the same genre. And so it's, people are, I think, comparing a lot of things that I don't feel like there really is much to compare there, at least in terms of the classes. Because, I mean, to go on a bit of a tangent here, like in MMOs, how many MMOs have a class where, like, a wizard archetype who throws fireballs or whatever, like, or in like a steampunk or sci-fi one, someone who has some sort of fancy grenade or explosives thing that's analogous to a fireball. Like, MMOs share a lot of classes, and I mean, gonna throw some nerd something out here, but I play D&D, and so most all of our modern fantasy references and everything come back, like a lot of it comes back to D&D, which is based almost exclusively off the works of Tolkien. So like, does every fantasy game just rip off Tolkien? Like, I mean, maybe I see the connections and it's not actually there. You know, I've got the whiteboard with the lines and the text and, you know, conspiracy theories. But games borrow archetypes and things from each other all the time. And so if these games came out separately, like, you know, a year or two apart or whatever, maybe it wouldn't be as big a deal. But yeah, to me, it doesn't, the whole classes are shared or stolen or whatever. I don't really care. The archetypes exist, you know, they're practically tropes. And so for me, I don't really care. I enjoy both games. They're both fun in different ways. They fulfill different parts of my gaming enjoyment with different amounts of strategy versus fighting. Both have outplay potential and everything. So it's, yeah, to me, they're both separate games, you know? They're similar, but there's enough there to make two distinct games, and I'm completely content to play both of them. So, yeah, that's my opinion on Overwatch vs. Paladins. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later.